all have energy, right? Focusing on what you can control, whether it's for other people or for yourself.
Good morning, everybody. I woke up feeling like a shell of myself today. I know I'm a Pisces and we wake up crying and all of this stuff and we're so goddamn emotional, but this has nothing to do with that. I was just dealing with something last night and I brought it in for today. I tried everything. I tried keeping the house clean. I tried going for my run. I tried to just be as present or to try to turn my mood around as much as possible. I don't even feel like Aya because I've done so much that I'm just not feeling myself properly. I've been shopping, but like those things don't fill you. And I've taken myself to the pool for a relaxation day and I'm lucky to have been able to do so. But for some reason, it just was not working. I just had to come and sit with the realization that I may have overextended myself. But in reality, also, we must accept that the state of the world right now is not at its best. And I had this, discussion and conversation with a lot of people, and we're constantly very aware, and we try our best to not, especially when I'm creating, to not talk about politics and to try to keep this a happy place. But you can't just pretend like you don't see what's going on. So I think that also is what's been taking a toll on my mindset. I did see a quote that said, if you are depressed, remember feeling well adjusted in a deeply unjust society is not necessarily something to be proud of, right? And I posted this quote and it's something that I feel a lot of people can relate to. And it resonated with myself. Despite all of that, I thought to myself, okay, you have started your day out like this somehow. You tried to let it out. You couldn't fully shake the feeling, but at least you got it a little bit off your chest. You even spoke about it to a few other people because I ended up posting that quote on TikTok and kind of what I'm feeling. I'm not gonna cry on the internet, but I am gonna, be a little bit transparent about the state of mind that I'm in. But then I said, okay, it's time to get my day started. Like, of course, I'm gonna have to clock into work. I'm gonna have to do all this stuff, but I can't just keep myself in this mind frame. So I had to physically peel myself off the couch because I was like doom scrolling and I was getting stuck in this pattern of like, which I think all of us do when you're like trying to numb yourself out. I thought, okay, why don't I share with you what I had to do and what I think helps me during these moments, because I feel a lot of us are especially going through this right now. And part of the discussion that I had this morning was, the world looks like it's in a bad place, and it definitely is. I also think, based off of stories that my grandmother has told me and everything that we learned, that the world has constantly been bad and led by bad people, and we luckily have access to seeing that with our own eyes now due to technology and had the capacity to change it and hold people accountable. But in the meantime, we can't just numb ourselves and pretend like stuff is not happening. We do need to build a community and speak about things. The first thing that I have for you in regard to changing your mindset is to simply acknowledge what you're going through and write it down. Write it specifically for what it is. And this morning, if I had not, aside from my cry that kind of let it out, it released some of that feeling, but it didn't clarify all of what was going on in here, right? I had to sit and write down like, okay, the pain of the world is bothering me right now. The pain of what I dealt with yesterday is bothering me right now. Luckily, writing that down myself, whether it be in my notes app or whatever, and then even putting it out, which you don't have to do, but putting it out and finding community in that helps and makes you feel better. And the reason that helps your mindset, like I said, is because it helps you clarify the situation that you're going through. And only from there can you progress or move forward. Second tip that I have is to start off with a mindful morning. I think I made that mistake because I went straight to my phone, which this is piggybacking off of my just last video that I posted a couple of days ago, the morning habits. I was talking about my phone usage and how amazing I am at nighttime turning it off and no one's gonna get in contact with me. But in the morning time, I just sometimes get up and I scroll. And I think that that's a big mistake. One, because you don't know what you're gonna see and you don't know how you're gonna affect your mind for that day. Starting mornings away from your phone, at least for the first, even 15 to 20 minutes, just that. If you can keep your phone, in like another room, which is also in the James Clear book, or just in a space not so close to you as soon as you wake up, for just 10 to 20 minutes, it can definitely, it can definitely change your mindset. It can definitely allow you to start your day in a better mood and have more control of what is going on in here and just have like a second with yourself. My third tip about changing your mindset is focusing on what you can control. Now, I may be hypocritical for saying this because I try to control so much in my life, and that just, it does not work out, and I always get burned from trying to do so. And you know, to a certain extent, I've learned this lesson, but it definitely helps when I'm watching someone that I care about, like my mother, who is going through her own situation right now, and she's simply like trying everything that she can in her nature to, you know, control the outcome of this situation. She's done every physical, humane thing that she can do, or humanly thing that she can do. She's spoken to someone, she's she's just done everything, but she can't stop thinking or talking about this issue. And so for me, I am telling her, at this point, you have to let it go, because you can't focus on what you can't control. You have controlled as much as you can. Whatever the outcome is, it's gonna be. Just leave it to God at this point. And she's like a spiritual person, so I'm sure she understands it. But sometimes when you're going through something, you have to remember that, because we're holding on to the pain or the fear. And so control, and us trying to control, helps to mitigate that. The fourth tip that I have kind of piggybacks off of that. I believe in focusing on the good. So not just on what you not just on what you can control, but on the good. So once you have a bad situation and you've dealt with it or whatever, you're gonna help your mind to not spend any more time on that situation. If you've done what you can for that, then that's it. Now you need to focus on things that are going to help you grow, whether it's reading a book or whether it's, you know, helping someone. Just simply using your energy for good, whether it's for other people or for yourself, because we all have energy, right? And you can put your energy towards this situation that's doing you justice, doing you injustice, or you can put your energy towards situations that are going to help you or help others. Being present about that helps to reframe your mind. It would help to rewire your brain, and you would be more of someone that's focused naturally on good versus the bad. And we all can succumb to focusing on the bad. It's really easy. It's a survival tactic, if anything, right? Because it's kind of like, I've experienced these bad things and I don't want them to happen to me again. And chances are, you know, if I don't do all this or focus on how this situation is going to end up or blah, 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 how to correct it, I'm going to land in this situation, or it's going to do whatever. But giving it that much energy will lead you to that, versus giving, you know, the energy to building your home or giving the energy to making my music. You can be using all that energy that you have stored and focus it or redirect it to somewhere else. And, you know, part of this, when I'm saying doing things that are good for you, because right now I'm mentioning all that, doing things that are good for other people without them paying you back will also help to change your chemistry. You know, not waiting to help someone out and not expecting anything in return does a lot for the human body, because we're all humane. It really feels good to do good for other people. Like, I went to a high school where we had to do 200 hours of community service. 200 or 400? Somewhere that, like either 200 or 400 hours of community service. And we're all like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. But then I started like helping out at blood drives, and I started like doing community cleanup. It could just be something as simple as like opening the door for an older lady in front of you, or giving somebody a compliment, smiling towards other people, calling your elderly aunt or your elderly neighbor, or just someone that you know doesn't have someone to speak to, just for a couple of minutes a day, and just listening to them without wanting anything in return. And it doesn't cost you anything. You might even learn something interesting from them, and it will lead you to feeling better about yourself as well. And it does change your mindset, because you begin to appreciate all these interactions and all, you know, of these places and people, and just way more than the situation that you're in or so focused on. My fifth tip is to visualize. So this changes your mindset. How? Because I feel like it leads you to become who you want. So when you visualize, right, I feel since I've been a child, I have been the most outrageous, imaginative, and ambitious person that I have been, and luckily no one has put out that fire. And what I notice in a lot of people is they just accept life as is, and that is not their fault. That is because people had drilled into them that they are incapable of something. Like, people have always told me I am incapable of being a singer, blah blah blah, this that, and no matter what obstacles, a vocal cyst or this or whatever, I did not let that trigger me, and I did not take it into account. Sometimes people cannot fathom a future for themselves, and then they try to put that on you. Don't fall into that trap. If you no longer have the capacity to visualize for yourself, then I recommend going on Pinterest, going on Google, and looking at things that mean something to you. Have you, when you were younger, going back to that childhood part of yourself and thinking, okay, I had wanted a home, or I had wanted to do this, or blah, blah, blah. And really just taking a good look at all of these things that you truly had desired and putting them on a mood board. So, to help you see what you're capable of doing. Next tip to help your mindset is be specific, be organized. When you are very specific, especially with this previous tip of visualizing, right, you will attain whatever you need, okay? You will also clear out your mind because you'll know how to get to where you need to be. And when your mind is not so cluttered, you can feel free, you can feel relaxed, you can feel more at ease. For example, like I've just mentioned, if you want a home, what type of home do you want? Do you want it to be a red brick home? Do you want it to be in the same place where you are now? Are you going to move to a completely different city? Do you like to be by the beach? Okay, now get even more specific. Who's going to live in that home with you? What is the inside of the home going to look like? What are the windows going to look like? Is it going to have a courtyard, or is it going to have a backyard, or is it not going to have any of that? Like, get so specific. Write down every single thing that you want. And then from there, like I said, from the first tip, write down your situation. It doesn't necessarily need to be the bad situation that you're venting about or that hurts you, but you can write down even like where you are currently in life, and then you can see how you can get to wherever you want to be. And from there, about this very specific home, you can look at examples of how much something like that costs. How do we get to that? How do we do all this? Really just wanted to share that with you because all of these things do help you move forward, and every single little act that you do are mindful about will cause you to rewire your brain and help with your mindset. Anyway, I want to thank you for joining me and for listening and having this moment with me, and I really do hope that you can hit your goals, big or small, face whatever challenges you have, help your mindset or shift it. And if it's something that you feel like you're gonna use, please let me know, because I like sharing with you guys. And if you have any tips, I like hearing from them, or I like hearing them. I don't know what happened to my English. Actually, my mom was here the other day. She was talking to me about how when I was younger, I would speak half Arabic, half English. So for example, I'd be like, "Ana here," which means I'm here. Ana is I'm in Arabic, and then here obviously is English. And I was like, you know what? The issue is it's still the same as an adult. Like, I still have half of my words and literacy in Arabic. Long story short, I'm losing both the Arabic and English language. So anyway, really hope that this helps in some ways. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. I will see you then.